Okay. All right, perfect. I think we're good to go. All right, let me mute you guys. Mute all. Hey guys, welcome. I am going to mute everybody so we can get started. I know Tiffany can't make it tonight. She's got a crazy schedule, so she had asked me to record this so she could watch it. Feel free to chat in the chat, but also unmute yourselves at any point. I do want to chat for just a little bit, and then I do want to have us collaborate as a group a little bit. But I've got, okay, so before this trip was announced, I was a little bit like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this with this whole coronavirus? But then I put my big girl panties on and I was like, people are still buying products. And I talked to Josephine. Josephine Morano has her entire massive network on Long Island. Like, they're taking over Long Island. They had their largest brand partner growth last month in all 3 years of them doing business in Long Island. And she said that those people are desperate for a second stream of income. So we are sitting on a gift right now because we do have this opportunity to share this with people. So I want everybody starting today to reframe the way you think about what we're doing. We are not annoying people. We're not pestering people. We have an opportunity to change people's skin and people's financial future. And who are we to decide who gets to have that information and who doesn't? So take that guilt off your plate. People can scroll right on by what you're doing. But for the most part, the haters are jealous. For the most part, that's all I'm going to say. You keep doing you. Those people's opinions do not pay your bills. And taking, word from Josephine from Long Island, all those brand partners were so worried about coming off insensitive. And there is a right way to do this and a wrong way to do this. Do you want to be like, oh my God, look at me, look at how much money I'm making? Probably not. That might not be the most tactful way to handle this right now. But could you have a very heartfelt, meaningful post about what this business has done for you during this time? Absolutely. Those are the posts that go the absolute furthest. So that's kind of how I wanted to start this right now. Business is booming. And you can either jump on that rocket ship now, or you can sit back and watch. And there have been times in my business in the past 5 years where I have sat back and watched. And every single time I've done it, I regretted it. Because there's a backslide in your business. And once you have a backslide, it is very hard to come back from it. It's not impossible. And I always come back from it, but I regret it. So don't let this virus define you and your business. It all starts with your mindset. So if you need to write like every single day, I have a gift and this opportunity for people, then write that every single day. Make that be the first thing you look at when you wake up in the morning, because you will not earn this trip by sitting and watching other people. You won't. And this trip, I have to be honest, they lowered the qualifications. I was very happy to see that. It's less volume to earn it. And there's a ton of opportunity for you to earn points towards the trip. Like I don't know if you guys looked at the qualifications, I am going to email all of you the FAQ, and I highly recommend that you print it and read it, because I don't want any point in this whole trip incentive period to go by where you're not sure if you're going to get the points for something or not. I want you to know firsthand. Don't rely on me or Sam or your upline to tell you if you're going to get the points or not. You need to know that yourself. And if you end up developing a team, or if you already have a team, you have to be able to answer those questions for people. So if you haven't done that, do it. I will email it to you to make it very easy if you don't know where to find it, but make sure you understand how to earn the trip. But I will tell you that having your 9 PC bonus every single month gets you 100 points for 6 months. Do the math, that's 600 points. Every time you run an ADO, that's 100 points times 6, that's another 600 points. Every time you run your Neora Edge subscription, that's 100 points times 6 months, that's 600 points. So you do the math, you can actually make a lot of progress. But the most progress you are going to make on this trip is today, tomorrow, and every day until the 30th of this month. Are there 30 days in May, April? 30 days, half September, April, June, 31 days. There we go. Think about that for a second. We have double trip volume right now. So if you're hearing this for the second, third, fifth time, I'm sorry. If you're hearing it for the first time, this is freaking huge. I pretty much had thrown in the towel for Cabo. I decided I wasn't going to earn the trip. I gave up. And then they announced double trip volume, and I still didn't act on it because I felt like I was so far away. Double trip volume didn't even matter. And then Kim Maines, who's an NMD, she earned the trip that month. And her story was that she was 5,000 or 6,000 away from earning the trip, $6,000 in orders away. So I messaged her and I was like, what the hell did you do? And she said she went gangbusters. She's like, I went all out. So I did, and I earned 4,000 in points towards the trip. I had my best month ever in business. I always told myself I couldn't hit Club 3,000, and I did. So thoughts are things. What you tell yourself will be your truth. If you can't get your 9 PCs, you won't. If you tell yourself you're going to get them, your brain will move its way towards doing things to get you to those 9. If you say you can't, your brain will do things to make sure you don't do it. So it's true. Your subconscious is very, very powerful. I don't hit Club 3,000 very easily, but there's points attached to it now for the trip. So you better bet your butt I'm shooting for Club 3,000. And guess what? If I don't get Club 3,000, then I probably am going to have 2,000 or 2,500 in volume that month, and I'm going to have an awesome paycheck. It's like there's no loss here, right? Okay. So that said, you're going to get an email from me, and you're going to get the FAQ, and I want you to read that. I want you to highlight it. I want you to understand it. That's your first step. The second thing we're going to do, and we'll do that in just a couple minutes, is we're going to set some goals. And what I would love to do is for us to hold each other accountable for these goals. I created a tracker for myself. I'd like to show it to you guys, and I will adjust this for you guys because I want to make sure it's relevant to you. This is what was relevant to me. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. So this is my little ghetto tracker that I created. Can I make this a little bit bigger? No, that's too big. Shoot, sorry. Just trying to make it oh, there we go. Okay. So sometimes I sit down and I just don't know what to do for my business. So this is my foolproof dummies guide to how to run your business. For me, if I'm going to work my business, I need to wake up before my kids. So that was something that I put on here as one of my goals. And I even have what time I woke up because I am holding myself to waking up early. I also know that my business changes when I am proactive about it, meaning I'm seeking out new people to add to my network, and I'm engaging with people meaningfully. And the 5 non-negotiables is one of the keys to my business. It really is. So this was big for me. I put this on here, and I even broke it out to checks for each area because I may not hit everything every day, and that's okay. The whole point is checklist isn't to check everything off. That's your goal. I talked to Kim Klocka about this, who's on here. Last month, she had a crazy good month, and she said she was calling people. She was picking up the phone, and not to talk about Neora. She's calling people just to talk about life. And sure enough, on those conversations, what did people say? Oh, hey, I've been meaning to ask you about this, or how's your business going? It's natural conversation. If you ask them about work, they're going to ask you about work if you're posting about it, right? I also want to hold myself accountable for 2 posts per day. This is me personally. I think all of you should probably shoot for this too. 1 business, 1 product post. And I'm going to try to weave my business post into everyday life so it doesn't feel very flashy in your face. I did one today, and it was a picture of my SPF, my computer, and my sewing machine. And I was just like, I'm so grateful for this company. You can go back and look at it. And then I have listed just some training because guys, it is really easy to get away from listening to the calls and watching the Zooms. It is very easy to not make them a priority, but we lose touch and we're not as plugged in. So I put these on here. Again, if you have time to do it, great. If not, don't. The other thing that's going to be very key for me, I did all those Zooms last month. I don't know if you did one with me or not. If you did, you know that they work. People are getting on Zoom parties. It's crazy. So I did all these parties for all my brand partners, and I really had a mental block about doing my own party because I just feel like I've been in this business long enough, and a lot of you probably can relate to this. I just feel like I tap my network and I'm like, I've already asked all the people. I'm annoying people at this point. But I finally told myself, I'm going to ask all my brand partners to do these parties. I have to do one. So I scheduled one on the last day of the month at 9:00 p.m. Samantha Wyatt hosted it for me. And I knew that if I scheduled it with her, I couldn't let her down. So I invited 10 people. I didn't go crazy. I invited 10. I offered every person a set of eye patches that got on because I knew not all 10 were going to get on. But I treated this like a true RRP. And if somebody came to my house, they would get a set of eye patches, right? And then I also offered to raffle off a free product of choice. And I was going to give them the choice of like small things for being on. Now, I hesitated. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. I invited 4 people on, and on the last day of the month, I placed 4 orders over $150, and 2 of them I'm now talking to about the business. So got a little taste of humble pie. The frickin' Zoom parties work. So I personally went and scheduled 4 Zoom parties with Samantha. Samantha has a Zoom party schedule. I'm going to send you one in the email I send to you guys, a Sign Up Genius. You can choose to do a party with me or a party with Sam. If you did a party with me last month, I'm going to tweak them a little bit this month. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to show more before and after pictures, and I'm going to have more engagement with the audience and allow more time at the end for conversation and questions, because when Sam did it for me, it was awesome. So I'm going to send you that Sign Up Genius. You can partner with one other person, maybe 2, to sign up if you want to do a joint party, but let's not do more than that, because I think you lose the responsibility. I'm trying to think of what I want to say, like the accountability for actually inviting if you have too many people participating, because then you don't feel like you're letting anyone down if you don't get anyone on. That makes sense. But do one privately for you. That's fine too. And then I'm also personally shooting to sample 3 friends every week. That's a challenge, but I'm gonna shoot for it because I have the samples. You can see I inventoried my products. They're all back there. NGB Neora gives back. It's SPF this month. I know they're giving out SPF like friggin' crazy. But I am going to redeem that because not everybody is going to place an order over $150. So I want to make sure I can be like Oprah and hand out SPFs, like you get an SPF and you get an SPF and you get an SPF. And I will give them to people who hop on the Zoom. So they're reducing the points on the SPF. Usually I think it's 50 points or something like that. On New York Gives Back, it's 25. So you can get a lot of them. So redeem your points if you don't have anything. If you don't have any points, then start selling your booty up. Okay, so what is all of this activity tracker? What is this going to help you do? It's going to help you reach your goals. We can say, we're going to get our 9, we're going to hit Club 3000, we're going to get this. You can say that, but those are not goals. Goals are things that are written here, things that you can actually tangibly check off that will help move you towards your 9 PC bonus and move you towards Club 3000 and move you towards earning your incentive trip. We cannot sit back with this double trip volume. You guys need to go. I hope no kids are listening. You got to go balls to the wall. Like, you have to work your business because you will regret it. I promise you. Shoot for Club 3000 because that is 6,000 in trip volume because it's double. So look, I mean, like you're almost halfway there at that point. I'm always a glass is half full girl. I realize you're not halfway there, but you are. Okay, so I have this for you guys. I created this because I'm a dork and I really love my pina colada. What is this green line on my screen? I must have drew that somehow. I created this little pina colada because it's not pina colada in the drink. It's probably a mojito or something because there's like a mint leaf there, whatever. But it had those little wavy lines in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can make a trip tracker out of this. So there, you can color this in. I'm going to hang it on my wall. Super cheesy, but you need a visual. So I suggest I'll email this to you as well. You can print it out, color it in. Once you hit 18,000, you've earned your trip. So it's kind of fun, and just make sure it's hung somewhere where you can see it. Shallon also suggested printing out a picture of the resort and cutting it into 18 pieces and then putting the puzzle together for every 1,000 that you hit in trip volume. So you could do that. I need something a little easier. So I did this. And then that trip tracker that I showed you, if that seems like a little bit too much for you, I'm also going to email you option B, which is this bingo card. Let me move it because I have that green mark on my screen. This is really fun. And if you have a team, you can do this with your team. Whoever turns in their bingo card with bingo or with the full card filled out, maybe they'll win a light ring or something, or a professional development book from Kindra Hall. But I am going to honor that if you can do either the trip tracker or this, or you can do both. Like, just don't overwhelm yourselves. I might do both just because I love a good bingo card, but this just gives you a good idea of the activity that you should be doing every single month, every single week, right? Okay, so let me just look at my notes. Okay, so one thing I'm going to tell you guys, this is working the system a little bit, but please understand this. Earning the trip is all new volume, new customers, new brand partners. So if you have an existing customer that orders a ton, they are not going to help you earn this trip, and it is a huge bummer. So I would consider talking to them and asking them, or if you manage their account and they're not waiting on a 10%, maybe just do it. Sign them up as a new customer. You need a new, and this is not Neora telling you this. Maria Cortez is not saying this. Give them a new username and password, and they just need a different email address. If they don't have a different email address, you can do their first name, last name at noemail.com. So set them up and make sure every order from here on out is through that account, because every time they order, it will count. And if they're new, they'll get double trip volume this month and next month if they order. Okay, so make sure if you're not new to the business, it's hard to get new customers. So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. I would hate for you guys to miss the trip by like 1,000 points when this could have made the difference for you guys. I would also highly recommend you turn on your Edge subscription if you have one, Neora Edge. You're going to get 100 trip volume and points every single month you have it. And if you're going to pay $30 a month for it, make sure you're using it. If you don't know how to use it, I will help you, or you can just scroll down to the bottom and there's a nice tutorial. That's how I learned how to use it. Okay. So I think I went over everything I really wanted to talk about. Okay, so as a group, I'm going to unmute you guys. We need to set some goals. So like my goals, you basically just saw. You can take my goals, but they may not be relevant to you guys. Hold on, let me unmute. Like I can tweak that tracker sheet if you guys want me to add things to it. Why can't I figure out how to unmute you guys? Unmute, oh, there we go. All right, you guys are unmuted now, just FYI. So you can't say any bad things about me anymore. Funny story, my daughter was on a Zoom with her teacher and one of the kids didn't realize she wasn't muted and the mom was like, oh, just tell her you did the work. She'll never know anyway. And I was like, ooh! I was like, you're not muted! Okay, sorry. All right, so what do you guys think about, and let me screen share again. Would you guys like the idea of the tracker?
Yes.
Okay, and do you think the way I have it set up for me, hold on, let me find it, here it is that, do you think it's too much?
No, I think it's a good outline that we can always tweak it if we need to for our own personal selves.
Okay, one thing, I set this up with my workout partner, Stephanie, and what we're doing is we're taking a picture and we're sending it to each other every day to kind of hold each other accountable. So that might be a little bit much with this group right here. I was thinking about maybe creating like either a Facebook Messenger group with just us or a text thread, and just every day, like maybe we just check in with each other or something. But I would love to Zoom with you guys weekly and check in with this stuff. But yeah, I think you're right, Mallory. You guys can tweak it. I can send you like the editable version. So if you want to delete things or change things, you can. But anyone else? Thoughts?
Make sure you tell Stephanie that story so that you don't Zoom with her and Reggie's not like, just fill it out, Stephanie, and Maria will leave you alone. Just kidding. Stephanie's going to be all over it.
Yeah. Oh, and the other part I added to this, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm a list person. So every week I make lists just to kind of remember things. So I have like your Class A prospects, the people you're talking to about the business, the people you're sampling or potential customers, current customers, people to invite to Zooms. Because if you're going to run a Zoom every week, which you all should do a Zoom for yourself every single week, especially this month. And then people I've not spoken to about the business or products. And I started doing this for myself, and it's really helped me because I really do get mental blocks where I'm like, I don't have anyone. And then I ended up every day I like add more people to my list. So that's really helpful. All right, so I'm going to email that to you guys. I'll email the pina colada thing. I'll email the bingo sheet. But what are other activities that you think we could all be benefiting from, or what have you guys been doing that's been working?
Hey, make sure you know that one thing, Maria, you didn't mention was that if you get 4,000 in trip volume by the end of June, you get an additional 300 or 400.
300.
So that's huge. I'm all about free trip volume, right? So play that game. Make sure you get there. Get that 4,000 in trip volume, so you get free trip volume.
Yeah. But honestly, guys, I know brand partners feel elusive to sign up, but they're not if you're doing Zooms and doing the activity and doing three-way calls. Brand partners are huge to helping you earn this trip easily because every ADO they place counts. And they can still sign up on the 50 kit and they still get the free SPF. So always lead with the business. That's my biggest tip. All right, who else? Anyone else have anything that's working for them that they want to add?
Maria, I guess I will say, for the last few months, I've just been really busy at work. So I've kind of like slacked off a little bit about doing a couple of things. And the one thing I would say when you talk about your trackers, I really think that had helped a lot with my business until I
Good.
Off sidetracked it. I think writing it all down, keeping track of all that is definitely a key.
Yeah.
Because I was getting 9 customers every month for like probably 11, 10, 12 months. And then as soon as I stopped doing that the last 3 months, I really feel like that hit me into like a little bit of a low.
It makes such a big difference. And it's the little things that make a big impact.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for 5 years now. And sometimes I sit down at my desk and I literally do not know what to do. Because there's so much that I need to accomplish that I don't even know where to start. So it was such a relief to sit down with this today, and I didn't have to think about what to do. I was literally like, I pulled out when I had to like message 5 people. I just looked at my list and I was like, oh, well, I'll message this person, this person, and this person. I scheduled a nap time opportunity Zoom for moms that have kids or have a lunch break. So I've already started inviting to that on Wednesday, and I'm excited. I don't know if anyone's going to show up, but guess what? I'm at least going to try. Like I'm going to give it my all this month to get double trip volume. So I'm trying to think of what else. All right, let me write down who's on here so I can make sure I email you guys. We have Nancy, Mallory. Oh, and if you guys don't want this stuff, just let me know. If you're like, this is too much, I'm out. Just let me know. I want to make sure you guys want in on this. Kim, Selena, Misty, Joanne, Jenny, Diana, Janice. I got Alexis, Teresa. Teresa, were you, I feel like maybe, did I have you on this one or the New Start one?
This one.
Okay.
Okay. You got it.
I am doing a New Start Zoom at 9, which might be great for you.
Okay.
But if you can't get on it, don't worry. I'm going to close out of this one in 1 minute and then start that one again. Who's the iPhone? I don't know who that is. Is that
Dana?
I don't know who the iPhone is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, who is
It's
that?
Dana.
Oh, hey, Dana.
Hey.
I got you. Okay. And also, last note, guys, don't let this overwhelm you. I think I said this, you don't have to check every box. This is like, if you get everything, you get an ice cream or a glass of wine at the end of the night. If not, you did something. Like, just pat yourself on the back. If you do nothing in that day, then it's okay. You don't feel like you have to make up for it next day. Just cross the day off. Because sometimes I feel like I have to do double when I miss stuff. And then it gets so overwhelming that you quit. I've been there. I do it. It happens to me all the time. All right. Does anybody want to add anything else?
That was the one quick thing I was going to say. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Just do something.
Something.
Anything.
Yeah.
At least once a day.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Selena. Guys, if you're not posting every day, you're going to start tomorrow. Okay? All of us.
That's
One
so helpful
post
for
a
me.
day, non-negotiable. It works. I would not tell you to do this. I'm telling you guys, as a cake decorator, I never made my own cake recipe. I always found the best one on Google and I used that. This business has a recipe because it works. So post every day, and then I'm going to send you guys all this stuff. I do have to close this out because I have more people hopping on in 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Hop on this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you guys are the best. Love you all. And let's just plan on this next week
Thank you.
so we can hold each other accountable, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.